Hello Leo, and welcome to Osirian Rivers, where we blend rune stones with oracle readings to bring you your messages from beyond. I like to think that we demystify the mystical and bring definition to that which is considered undefinable. So the rune stone that we pulled is Fertility. And this isn't just about sexual fertility. This is about all of your partnerships and how you are relating to the world around you. It's considered a cycle rune, and I'm feeling led to tell a Leo or group of Leos that's listening to plan for a year. That it's sort of like one complete harvest season that needs to be reevaluated to bring something to fruition. That would be the sort of the incubation period, if you will, for an idea that you have. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have fertile ground just because you have a new idea that you're dealing with. You might need to actually look at the ground that you're on and figure out what to do to make your life fertile, adjusting relationships, and making sure that what you have going on in your life, all of your cultural beliefs, your behavior patterns, are not making your situation worse. Okay, I think this is the card that wanted to come out for you. There's other cards that they keep showing up in all the readings. They're for the collective, but you can watch the collective reading. It's funny too because I shuffled really good and I cleansed this deck before doing your guys' reading. Leo for December, mid-December 2019. We're at the start of Capricorn. I'm hoping everybody's feeling good. Everybody's made their decisions and is starting to work towards what they want to see in 2020. They say hindsight is 2020, and I'm hoping that we can all take this winter as a moment to use our hindsight of our past to, wow, it's like, sorry about that. To make sure that when we go into the future, we're not still making the same mistakes. All right, look, another symbol of fertility for you guys. Have faith that the goals that you're placing in mind that might seem unrealistic are realistic. And this is sort of, I imagine you looking onto your future self and how different these are. That's not the original story from this card, but that's my take on what is going on with this card as far as this reading is concerned. What I'm seeing is that your future self has come to give you the key. You can see this angelic figure appears in both of them, and I feel that that is your future self. This card traditionally would represent a person who is led by these three spirit guides and is urged to see that the wall in front of her, the brick wall, is actually a brick path which she can go on to reach fruition of her goals. And what I'm seeing is that that spirit guide is actually a wiser version of yourself, like you would say your higher self or your inner knowing. And there are some deep wounds that need to be healed. There's a lot of recovery that needs to happen before you can find abundance. And your inner guide knows the way best. They know what has you afraid and how to navigate that fear. Otherwise, you will miss out on a lot of abundance. And the key that you're being gifted unlocks treasures for literally everything you need. This is a guy, he's dropped a coin down a well and he's like, oh no, I needed that. And he goes home and he drinks and he's worried about it, not having enough money. Meanwhile, this person does not have enough money. They know they don't have enough money, but they know what they want. And they act as if they have it. That's how they dream it. And then they put it aside and they just start taking the steps, saving up for this house. You can see that house in the background that this person's saving up for. And they have got a string down there where they are slowly getting the coins out of the bottom. And the key which unlocks this is your perception. It's if you can get out of your coping mechanisms that are broken, that don't work for you anymore, like drinking and sweating the small stuff, because when it comes to accepting abundance, all that other stuff, it blocks your way, can be mountains if you let it be, or you can acknowledge that what you're seeing as a brick wall could be leveled into a brick path and, in fact, guide you within the constraints of your current life to healing and recovery, to the most fertile ground that you've ever been on. Now, I would like to do some more rune stones for you today. You guys had a lot of cards that wanted to come out too, so I'm thinking I'm going to actually pull an extra 2 cards too. And look what I pulled. Constraints. That's what I was just saying, is that the constraints that you're dealing with, have faith that they're actually to your betterment. That it's not as much of a hindrance as you're making it out to be. Sorry, I keep bumping the camera. It's really distracting me. Now, this rune is actually reversed. And in this type of general reading, I will just go like this, just flip it upright, because it's basically just the shadow side of the rune constraint, urging you to look more carefully at it, and has a slightly different meaning. But with it being so general, normally I would just ignore it. This time I would say don't. It's really saying keep the faith that something will bring you to a point of darkness, will bring you to pain and limitation. Like you just can't do whatever it was that holding you back. Like it's really kind of leveling you, and it's like just persevere, see it through to the dawn, which is the third rune stone that I got for you. So we have constraint, and ironically in this elder rune set that I have, constraint is right before the rune of fertility, because you have to work within your constraints to know the soil that you're working with, to know what is fertile for you and what your best option is. This one comes later in the runic alphabet, and this is for dawn or breakthrough. It's just another indicator that if you have faith and you see your recovery, your painful recovery process through, where you allow all of your broken coping mechanisms, your cultural beliefs that don't suit you anymore, to kind of fall away, and stop pushing so hard for stuff. Like, oh, I see this path, so now I have to climb this brick wall, or I have to work around all these things, and it doesn't have to be like that. You can just let whatever is going to work, and hold the faith that when you're staying true to what feels right for you and the hurt that you feel that you need to be healed from can bring you the keys that you need for abundance in your life, then you're going to be fine. There is an aspect of guilt where if you're doing too much for other people, if you're trying to heal so that you can have a better relationship with somebody or do a better job at something, that's not going to sit well. You have to do things with the purest intentions and remember that you keep healthy boundaries. Now, this person in the other room, she's chained to them. She's chained to the same dwelling. The same sadness abides with her in this house. She's doing all the work. Now, this card is about two business partners. And she decides that she's tired of doing all this work and splits the business. Now, the other person gets cut out and they still profit from what had transpired. But from that point on, because she knows how to set her firm boundaries and doesn't put that chain back on, don't put that chain back on yourself, then you don't have to get guilt tripped into doing stuff or be like, oh, I'm so saintly, I'm the angel. It's like, that's not always what is called for. You have to open your eyes and see what situation you're putting yourself into. See whose work you're doing and ask yourself, is it mine? Is it the right work for me to be doing at this time? Does it lead to my ultimate healing? Thank you so much for watching. Please, if you haven't already, click the like button, share and subscribe. That's how this message gets out to the world, to the people who really need it. I love you, my feisty Leos, and I'll see you again soon.